Welcome back over to the video. Today we are back for another NFL game prediction video, and it's been a while since I did one of these. I really started slacking on these, started doing more Madden, all that kind of stuff, so I gotta keep consistent. So we are back to it for week 9 game predictions. Before we get into it though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you never miss any of my content. Football wise, I do the game picks, we do injury news, award predictions I haven't got to yet. I think we do that like maybe next week because it's like a little past halfway. We'll do playoff predictions, all that type of stuff. So make sure you subscribe for my NFL content. And then Madden, I also do No Money Spin, new content on there, gameplays, all that kind of stuff. So it's always me football in one way or another on this channel. Now I will say I am filming this after Thursday night, so technically like you don't know for sure if I actually picked the Eagles or Texans beforehand, but like, I mean, did anyone pick the Texans to really win that game? Which, to be fair, I mean, the Texans did put up a good fight. I mean, Dameon Pierce is such a beast, but the rest of the team, there's just nobody. So, I mean, Eagles are still undefeated. They have a pretty easy schedule, and I think they probably know that. Like, obviously, they have confidence, but, like, they're not playing, Bengals or Rams caliber of schedules, because I think they have the two hardest from winning the Super Bowl. But they're still a great team. It's going to be interesting to like what they do in the playoffs and all that type of stuff. But for right now, we have some game picks to get into, so into the first game. The first game that we're going to be going over is the Panthers and Bengals, and I will actually be at this game to watch the Panthers lose in person. So I'm very excited about that because it's not going to be very close. But honestly, though, being serious, it is supposed to be Bengals by 7, I believe. Which, honestly, I can see the Panthers winning this game, and I'm going to pick the Panthers because I'm a Panthers fan, and whenever I pick them, they lose, and then whenever I don't pick them, they win. I can never get it right. It's so annoying, but I'm picking them to win this game. The Bengals struggle against the Browns, which, I mean, they always kind of do. That's not really out of the ordinary, but for this, they have no Jamar Chase. Chidobe Awuzie is out for the season, torn ACL, and I think Mike Hilton is also supposed to be out Sunday as well. So I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's what it is. So they have some pretty crucial injuries, especially on defense. And Jamar Chase, obviously a huge hit on offense. The Panthers have had some injuries, but they have most people they need back and healthy. And I honestly think the Panthers will win this by about 3 or 4 points. Can't wait to see how poorly that ages. But on to the next game is the Chargers and Falcons. This is really interesting because I obviously don't like the Falcons at all. But the Chargers are a really hard team to pick because they seem a lot better than what they kind of are. They're 4-3, but they've had some huge hits as far as injuries go. I mean, their entire team is injured. I don't think Keenan Allen's playing. I have no idea if Mike Williams is playing. J.C. Jackson's hurt. I mean, they have a lot of injuries. So for that reason, I'm actually going to pick the Falcons. The Falcons, I remember saying this, like, if you watch my game prediction video from, like, week 2 or 3, I mentioned that I think the Falcons were slightly better than their record showed, and I do stand by that. I think the Falcons are maybe a game, or probably not 2 games, but maybe a game better than what the record really shows. They are pretty competitive, and I think they knocked out the 49ers in Atlanta, and I think they'll probably knock off the Chargers as well. Dolphins and Bears, I think this will be a really, just kind of exciting game. Honestly, a lot of big-time playmakers on both teams, really. Justin Fields, I mean, people have their opinions about him, but at the very least, he's fun to watch run. I mean, even if he's not having his best passing game, he is really fun to watch using his legs. And I will say that he's improved a lot over the course of this year to where I think even in fantasy rankings, he's even like a startable quarterback, which is very good for him because I think he has a lot of potential. Although I am going to pick the Dolphins for this game. Obviously, the Bears do have Chase Claypool now, which is pretty interesting. I don't really think it's going to impact too much, at least the first game. So I am picking the Dolphins. I mean, Tyreek Hill is on pace to break the NFL receiving yard record, which is crazy. And the Falcons, I think, are just all around the better, or the Dolphins, I think, are the all-around better team. So I am picking the Dolphins. Packers and Lions, another interesting one. I feel like this game, you're used to picking the Packers, but I think they're favored by 3.5, which is just kind of eh. I think I'm picking the Lions for this game. The Lions, They've had their injuries and they've been really inconsistent this year. They're 1-6. There's a lot of games that you thought they would win, they just didn't win. The Packers though, they are in trouble. They did not go out and get a receiver before the deadline. They just haven't been playing well. I mean, there's not really another way to say it. They just have not been playing well. So I am going to pick the Lions. If the Lions do win, I could see it by a last-second field goal. I don't think it's going to be a 10-point win or anything. But I think the Lions will win this. And even if they don't, I think at the very least it'll be a very competitive game. It's a divisional game. Both teams are kind of not the best, so it should be competitive for that reason as well. But I am picking the Lions. As for the Patriots and the Colts, I think this year it's kind of looked like I'm a certified Patriots hater. I'm not. I haven't picked them very many games because I just haven't liked them this year. I feel like they're just not that great at all. But speaking of teams that aren't that great at all, the Colts is who they're playing. So this game to me is an interesting one. They don't have Jonathan Taylor, which, to be fair, what has he really done this year anyway? And the Colts as a whole have just been such a weird team to pick. For the Patriots, Devontae Parker I don't think is playing. But Ramondre Stevenson is a beast. Huge fantasy steal if you drafted earlier this year, because he was way back in rounds. I think in one of my, I think it's probably like a 6-man. I got him like 101st overall, which is crazy because, I mean, you know, he's very, very good. So I'm picking the Patriots. I think they're just going to be way too good on offense because of Ramondre Stevenson for the Colts to stop. I think offensively for the Colts, it's just so confusing of like what's going to happen. There's just no really kind of consistency there, so I'm picking the Patriots. Next game is Bills and Jets. This should be a pretty competitive one, at least maybe a little bit. Like, I think it'll be competitive just because it's a divisional game. I think the line's like Buffalo by like 11.5. I don't think it'll be that bad, but the Jets 5-3 might be a little inflated, honestly. So you never know. I am gonna pick the Bills. I don't think the Jets are gonna win this. I think it'll be a fun game to watch, though. I mean, that Jets defense is so fun. Sauce Gardner is just already becoming one of the like best corners in the league, which sounds crazy, but like statistically, he's doing incredible against the people he's going up against. But this week, he does have a really tough matchup in Stephon Diggs, so we'll have to see how that actually turns out. But I'm picking the Bills in this one by probably about 7 points. Vikings and Commanders. This isn't really a hard one for me. I'm picking the Vikings. Commanders, I mean, they're on a bit of a win streak, but they're just not that great of a team. Vikings look to be incredible. They just went out and traded for Hawkinson. They are all in on offense. They are all in on the playoff run. I'm picking the Vikings. They might slow down at some point this year, but I don't think the Commanders are going to be the team to do that. So I'm picking the Vikings. Next game is Raiders and Jaguars. This game is just so odd to me because, like, Raiders are 2-5, Jaguars are 2-6, and both teams, I feel like people wanted to be better than what they are. Like, this was kind of like Trevor Lawrence's like redemption year, and he has, I think, done maybe a bit better. He's still throwing a lot of interceptions though, but honestly, after that rookie year, I think people cut him a lot of slack for that, which is deserved. At the same time, you got to start putting up decent numbers, you know what I mean? So I'm honestly not sure who to pick. I'm going to go with the Raiders because Etienne is a beast for the Jaguars, but I think Raiders are the more complete team, at least on offense. I think they have a bit more figured out. But then again, they're 2-5, so what do I really know? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm picking the Raiders. But, I mean, I think the line is like Vegas by 2, so who really knows? This could go either way. Next game is Seahawks and Cardinals. I think Arizona's actually favored in this game by a couple points, which I'm picking the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a very fun team to watch. Kenneth Walker is so good at running back. And then Geno Smith, I mean, how can you not root for the guy? He's just so fun to watch. And he's honestly a very good quarterback. I think it was kind of fun at the start of this year. People were like, oh my gosh, Geno Smith's in the MVP running. I don't think he's not in the MVP running now, but like it went from like a joke of look how good Geno Smith is to like, wow, Geno Smith is actually doing very well. So it's very cool for the Seahawks. This draft class is amazing for them. I don't think they miss on a single pick. Tariq Woolen is amazing at corner. Kobe Bryant is amazing at corner. And then Kenneth Walker, obviously. I think they have a defensive lineman as well, but I can't think of who it is. So very good draft by the Seahawks, surprising everybody this year. I think they will continue to win this week against the Cardinals and move to 6-3. Next is the Rams and Buccaneers. This game is kind of funny because it's two teams that like should be really good, and neither one of them are. I mean, they're 3-4 and 3-5. So I am going to pick the Rams, but I mean, I don't really know. Like the Buccaneers, they don't have anything on offense. The Rams at least have Cooper Kupp, but the Buccaneers don't have a lot. They have Mike Evans, but he's kind of struggled, and the offense as a whole has kind of struggled. Tom Brady looks really out of sync. And it's not to compliment the Rams because they have their own problems as well, but at least they have a tougher schedule. So I am going to pick the Rams in this game, but this might be a very defensive, low-scoring, like 15-12 type game. And then for the Sunday night game, Titans and Chiefs. The Titans are 5-2. Again, I feel like this is kind of a team like the Jets. Like that might be a little inflated. Although I will give credit that they started out really, really rough, but they have redeemed themselves. They've got some good wins. Last week was basically just Derrick Henry winning the game. I think he had like over 230 total yards and like 2 touchdowns. So it wasn't really much of an offensive fight there. It was just Derrick Henry. But, you know, they're 5-2. So you got to give respect at least at some point. The Chiefs, I think, are just the better 5-2 team. I think they're way more complete. The Chiefs just look unstoppable at some points. So I think Derrick Henry might turn up at some point, but I don't think he can do that all game long. And I do not think the Titans defense can stop the Chiefs offense at all. So for that reason, I am picking the Chiefs by about 10 points. And then the Monday night game, Ravens and Saints. The Saints just shut out the Raiders in a very impressive win. The Ravens have looked honestly pretty good this year. Lamar's kind of cooled off the past few weeks. But 5-3, 5-3 is good. I'm going to pick the Ravens because I think they are the better team. Though it's just kind of weird because the Saints, like, sometimes Kamara does nothing. Other times he gets like 2 or 3 touchdowns. And same with Taysom Hill. He's kind of hard to predict how they're going to use him. So I'm going to pick Baltimore in this game. But I feel like this is going to be one of those games where you would think it's the Ravens, and then the Saints just, like, for some reason win by, like, 10 or 14 points or something. Because I feel like the Ravens play horrible at the most random times. Maybe it's just me. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm horrible at picking them. I can never know what they're going to do. Hopefully I do this time, though, because I'm picking the Ravens in this game. But, guys, that's going to do it for the game picks video. Let me know down below which games you think I got right and which games you think I got wrong. Obviously, if I didn't pick your team, then I'm sure you probably don't agree with me. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys did like the content as far as, any football content I have on this channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.